Welcome back, team, to the Midwest Rugby Championships. We just crowned our last one in the Indianapolis Impalas, but let's talk about the D1 matchup between Columbus Women's Rugby and the Pittsburgh Forge. My name is Darian Lovelace. I'm joined by great American rugby enthusiast Lance Kavanaugh. We're here in Chicago, all thanks to the Chicago Blaze Stadium. One thing to really talk about is this moment that we're going to take for a Chicago Blaze player, Tim Samuel the fourth. Moment of silence for this player. Looks like our moment has concluded for Tim the fourth for the Chicago Blaze. And now we can go ahead and talk about this matchup between the Columbus Women's Rugby, the Squirrels, versus the Pittsburgh Forge. Lance, what do you want to see for this matchup between these two teams for the D1 Midwest Rugby Championship final?
I want to see the best display of D1 women's rugby right here, right now. Chicago team poised to take it to this Pittsburgh Forge team. I am very excited for this game because this has real national playoff implications.
Kickoff is now underway. It's fielded cleanly and then passed back inside. Looks like that's Columbus already off to the races. Columbus now continuing to press on. They'll be in the green on your left, and then on the right will be in the white and yellow, the Pittsburgh Forge. We see here already they are trying to test that edge. They get corralled into bounds, and that'll be a line out going in favor for the Pittsburgh Forge.
Hold for just a sec.
Pittsburgh Stern team,
Here.
led by Coach Todd.
Here, lifters.
He said, I like democracy,
Keep a wide tunnel.
but they don't want the other team to vote on this one. They want to have the ultimate vote to get the win. Pittsburgh with the line out to come.
Ladies, if you're going to walk in, I need a pause before you jump.
Referee already trying to get control of this game. For the Columbus side, we've got head coach Katie Marlowe. Line out now goes up. Front pod is able to field it cleanly. The number 4 gets it.
Backwards!
The number 9 moves it to a center pod waiting. A ball goes straight down, so Pittsburgh will continue to play on. They go ahead now and try and move it through the hands. Cut back inside from the center. So a little bit of some pressure coming in. Columbus now having to fold around quickly. They've got some space, though, on the right if Pittsburgh can move it. Ball ends up hitting the deck. The number 8 tries to work it around the back shoulder. Oh, looks like it got bobbled a little bit there. A knock-on called. And it'll go in favor of Columbus women's rugby.
Green scrum.
That little bit of phase play we just seen from Pittsburgh might be a strong indication of what we're dealing with. Seems like they have a structure down. They're going out the back. Even if it goes to a forward pod or a forward, they still have the confidence and ability to move the ball out wide. Ball hit the ground, bounced a little bit, and they were able to get it back. But it shows a little bit about this team. They might have a structure that is very deceptive, and it might produce dividends later on in this match.
Yeah, you may need to pull her to keep her square.
First scrum of the match. See here, a big back line is set up for Columbus. They're set up pretty deep. Rednitzer looks like she'll be the first receiver, trying to receive it from Devonna Francis. Rednitzer tries to almost get her hands free. She looks for support, but they decide to take it to ground. Francis now gets it to the number 13. The number 13 gets it to the fullback. The wing now has it in hand. She's got some speed. Tries to give a fend. Tiptoes on that sideline, but twists back in. She's right on that edge, but is able to stay in. Devonna Francis moves it back into a lock. That's Ellie Long. Ellie Long not able to get a whole lot of meters, though. And Pittsburgh putting on a lot of defensive pressure, forces a knock-on from Rednitzer, and there will be a scrum almost on the opposite side of where that first scrum was. We'll take a look here at this play.
I mean, we're looking at fantastic line speed from this Pittsburgh team. The phase beforehand, the winger Laura Matway charged up. Unfortunately, couldn't bring her guinea pigs with her today, but charged up, made a great tackle. And the next phase, the pressure caused a knock on Pittsburgh. More ball in hand in the first couple minutes of this game. But we're going to see a really good, highly competitive match. Both teams are bringing a lot of fury right now.
Ladies, you're a little too close together, so I'm bind, you're leaning. Understood? So we need to work harder to create a gap. Got it? Yeah.
Already having some brilliant comms coming in from the SIR. In the front row, we've got number 20, Sarah Scott. She was born as an 11-pound baby, so she'll be bringing a lot of size here to this front row. Going up against Kiki Jordan and Lulu Darrell.
Hold there, 9.
They hold strong in there. Chips keeps the ball in. Number 6 picks it up. That's Karina Sarver. Cut back inside from the number 12. That's Jamie Philippek. Philippek gets some good meters. Pittsburgh trying to contest at the breakdown, but a good clear out. They've got some gaps opening up in the middle. The number 15 spots it. That's Cardamon. Cardamon almost gets it. But an unfortunate mishandling error there. And lands. We were talking about their creativity early on in this match. And they're really starting to test the edges around Columbus quickly.
Absolutely, and the confidence is there. That pass and finding the gap through, sensational. Fullback with a chance to get it to their USA cap Rugby League center, Brittany Royce, but unfortunately unable to handle the ball, and a great opportunity squandered. It looks like this Pittsburgh team is going to play straightforward, straight ahead, and make things happen.
Maria's also capped for Jamaica as well, so they'll be wanting to get the ball into her hands quickly.
9, hold.
Devonna Francis has to go ahead and dig for that ball. She's under a lot of pressure, which forces the ball to have to hit the back. That's Poe. Poe Wako-Siva gets some fends going. Also ends up drawing a not rolling penalty.
That is
and
prime
Poe
right
doing
there.
her signature. Yeah, exactly.
That is Poe right there, everybody. Make sure you take note. Poe is going to do that all day today.
I've gotten so many fends from Poe in my career. It's not even funny. But back underway is Columbus. The breakdown is getting a little bit messy. Pittsburgh now committing their second breakdown infraction for not rolling away. So we'll see what the Squirrels elect to do.
Yeah, you're good.
Francis goes ahead and gives it back into Lulu Darrell. Darrell gets some leg drive going there for them. Another not rolling away penalty. Referee's going to have a conversation early on.
3 not rollings, back-to-back breakdowns. Clean it up or it's going to be a card for the next one. Understood?
Ooh, stiff warning pretty early in the game for the referee to be threatening the card of sunshine. Unfortunately, Pittsburgh are now under the close watchful eye of this sir. Let's see how that bodes for the rest of the day.
Travis is off to the races, though. Got him well over a 50. Another not rolling away penalty, especially after just talking about it. So referee will go straight into the pocket. You see the dismay. It looks like that's number 7, Caitlin Haggerty Evans. She'll go ahead and have a little bit of a break after 4 not rolling away breakdown infringements for Pittsburgh.
I mean, bad luck is one thing, but you have to be expedient and rolling away. You have to show you're making an attempt. Yellow card already.
Big runs and big tackles already happening here early. We're seeing the ball get kind of stuck. They're digging around for it. Referee goes ahead and blows it up because of the fact that she did not have rights to the ball, especially with some sloppy breakdown play. They're already under scrutiny. Francis now getting ready to go off to the races. But now
maybe the referee see the not running away and decided to to get that penalty away. But this referee is on top of the game right now. This ruck area is sloppy. He's going to have to take control of it.
And now Columbus is knocking on the door. They're within the 22. A big
coach was good.
Boom ends up
counter ruck was good,
causing the turnover. Counter ruck now comes in from Pittsburgh, and they've got the ball in hand now. Swarming over top of it. They've got room to work it out to the left. They go ahead and go to the boot. It's a chip kick. Ends up turning around the winger. The number 15 has to come across. Goes out right around the 50.
Nothing quick. Thank you.
I like that idea to kick it, especially down the man. Maybe putting it further downfield, playing more territorial at a time like this. The confidence must be shaken a bit, given a yellow card so early in the game. As we check in on our D3 Midwest Championship with the Detroit Tradesmen up 13-5 over Red River. This D1 Women's Championship is going to heat up in prime time. I'm telling you now, this is going to be one of those good games with the line out to come.
Ball ends up getting knocked on in the line out, and then Pittsburgh ends up fielding it cleanly.
She's in front of the 22.
Sit up. Yeah, right back.
Referee having some comms about what the call is going to be. Continuing now to move back. We'll have a line out. It'll go in favor of the Columbus women's rugby team, the Squirrels. Mary Cooner set for the throw-in. Call is not straight.
Pause when you're walking in, understood?
But they get off by the skin of their teeth. They get to go ahead and redo the line out. Contest, though, at the front ends up causing the turnover. Ball is extremely messy. Somebody finally falls on it. That's the number 11, Cross Hatoski.
Scrum.
But it was a knock on, so now Pittsburgh will go ahead and scrum down. And they're down a player in that pack after the number 7, Caitlin Haggerty Evans, ended up getting a card early on in this match.
Here's your mark.
We'll make sure the time is correct as the clock is stopped on our end. We'll make sure we get that corrected and zoned in correctly. But first 10 minutes already with a yellow, but Pittsburgh seemed to be the team that has the initiative. They're the one with the tempo. They're the one with the energy. Even with a player down, even with a woman down, they still find themselves on the front foot a lot of the times. Let's see if this continues with an inside switch to Brittany.
Warriors takes it right into Pittsburgh as they go ahead and they look to go quickly. They try and get around that hinge defense, but they're taken down by the Squirrels. The Squirrels now putting on a big defensive effort. They go a little bit high, but But a good, fair contact ends up bringing them to ground. This line speed coming up ends up leaving a lot of gaps open on the side. Royes moves it to the number 11. She's got some speed to work with. That's Matway. Matway almost making her way into the try zone. They go ahead and decide to use this edge yet again. A little bit of not rolling away coming in, though, for Columbus Women's Rugby. The number 12, she goes ahead and goes quickly. That's Phillip Peck. She's been playing since 1999. And she's got the smart, she's got the skill. That'll be the first try of this D1 Midwest Championship going in favor of the Pittsburgh Forge.
The communication manager had no one to speak to, no one to talk to. Jamie says she'll do it all herself. Quick tap after the not rolling away penalty that hurt Pittsburgh themselves, gives them life as the quick tap was ready for them. No defense ready on Columbus side. And an inside out move around. And one fend off later, she is falling into the try zone, giving Pittsburgh an early lead, who are down a player. We must emphasize, Pittsburgh is down a player right now, and they're the ones that are bringing the action to Columbus. Inside move out, simple handoff, smile on her face as she lays across the grass and give her team 5. Good job for Jamie.
Pittsburgh support rolling deep on the side. The number 15, Mackenzie Cardamon. She'll kick. If we look at that leg sleeve on the right, she says she hasn't washed it all season. Probably hoping for something a little bit lucky. Ball ends up going to the right, so conversion is no good, but score still remains 5-0. So not enough can be said about the work rate coming in, especially off of a yellow card, but it's all thanks to the number 12 here, Jamie Philippek. Again, she's been playing since 1999. That's no easy feat, especially on the body, but she makes her look seamless here.
20 plus years of rugby. What a blessing her life must have been.
I don't know if she feels blessed, but she's making it look easy. Pittsburgh now go ahead and they field that kickoff, and they're already off to the races with a big fend coming in from the number 6. It's Karina Sarver. Here's some loud yells coming in with the aggression ramping up here as Pittsburgh continue to press on. Some good defensive launch, though, coming in from Columbus. Columbus now has to try and corral Royes. They corral the winger towards the sideline. Finally bottle her into touch, and it'll be a line out going in favor of Columbus.
I mean, even in a play where they lose possession, there's good signs here. They find the space, simple hands, making sure they make a defender commit, and around the corner, maybe can get some hands free, get the offload or hard charge to the middle. But I mean, once Poe gets her hands on you, once the outside wing gets their hands on you, chances are you won't be able to get the ball away. And now Columbus with the line out.
Columbus are able to field it cleanly. They go ahead and try and attack that hinge around. Hands kind of go in for the ball. Did she have right? She did. So Pittsburgh now will go on the attack. Looking now for her support. It's Ashley Chip. She's brought to ground. Looks like Lipek had to go in. They're going to move it now through the hands. Royes has it. Beautiful pin and pass. The 15 tries to move it to the number 11, debatably forward, but a big hit coming in from her opposing wing, knocks her right out of bounds. And that'll be a turnover going in favor for Columbus. That was the number 11 Cross Hatowski, who just absolutely annihilated that contact.
You want to see physical play for a championship? Here we are. The target was set. The leg drive is there. No ability to pick the ball up after the bobble. And good job on Columbus bringing the physicality to get the ball back.
Ball ends up getting knocked at the front of the line out because of that contest happening in from Pittsburgh. They're swarming over top of that ball.
But knocked from the top by White.
Knocked on from the top by White. So Columbus now will get a scrum right at that 15-meter mark.
Mark over here, ladies. On the 15.
And I mean,
both teams are just so competitive.
Yeah, they're doing really good. Pittsburgh's doing a really good job in these tackle areas. The counter-rucking has been incredible. The poaching has been top flight. You have any kind of slowdown around sealing the ball for your own team, and chances are you might just lose it. As we see on the line out, full extension, but just couldn't get the ball back to her own side. Knock on scrum down to come.
Look at that stare down coming in from the wings. Both teams are here to play. Francis now has to go ahead and get it from the back. That looks like the center ends up taking it right into the hinge. These number 13s are not playing around. That's
No, leave it. Back up, thank you.
Francis moves it now to the backs who are waiting. The number 11 tries to go ahead and work her way around. Royas is over that ball quickly.
Lost him, a good try.
Trying to contest over there. She's unsuccessful. And they're going to go ahead and continue to work this left-hand side. Francis cuts back in, moves it back into a prop. She's knocked down quickly. They're competing, though, quickly over that ball, and it'll be successful for Pittsburgh as the wing goes off to the races. Moves it away from the pressure area. A massive fend absolutely brought to ground with that one. Don't go high on that player.
Everyone's on.
They go ahead and use the boot. The number 15 now has to come across. It'll get bottled into touch.
It's been touched.
I think we just seen a clean body. Easy.
Time's up. Cool.
Full charge after the turnover. One-on-one. One of our players to watch. Outside center for Cincinnati finds themselves
card is coming
with a
now.
disadvantage and one fin and a sit down. And here we are. Could you please have a seat? Yes, I can. Bloop. It's all right. Walk it off. Get it the next time. But hard charging run. Pittsburgh are bringing the physicality to this team. The same way they just got the steal, and now Cincinnati with ball. Columbus.
Looks like that was the number 1 chip. She's a big Pokemon enthusiast, so I'm wondering if she's tapping into that energy. But Columbus already ready to answer back. They get way too close to that sideline. The 16th defender ends up tackling her out of bounds as well. A lot of lineouts happening here early on in this match.
Here's a tunnel.
Definitely.
White.
Seems as though both teams have an understanding of around that edge. Defensively, they're going all in to get the player out of bounds. It's been working for both teams throughout the day so far.
Engaged.
Going ahead now and using that maul. They're trying to gain that momentum while working the ball to the back. They are successful, but it ends up stopping the momentum that they generated, so they have to peel off of the back of that maul. And now they set up with an attacking platform. Looks like they're almost running backwards. We see that massive fend coming in yet again for chips. Looks like that might be the number 5. That's Nicole Burhett. She dishes a fend of her own. A big hit, though, coming in from Poe. Even though she's small, she plays like she's 6'4". Moving it now to the wing. She cuts back inside. Again, Poe putting her straight to ground. 21 Scott tries to take it in, but looks like Columbus is kind of feeding off that energy from Poe. They're making some big tackles. Finally bring that number 5 straight to ground.
Come back for the knock.
They'll come back in favor of the knock-on.
I mean, what can be said about Poe? She's already showed up a bunch of times on the screen. We've seen big hits from her, and this is no different. Sound technique, same leg, drive, cheek to cheek, and nothing dangerous there. But strong leg lift, strong leg drive. Poe is a lot of players' favorite player here in the club scene in the States.
Bind. Set.
Number 21, Haggerty, will put it in for Pittsburgh Forge.
Hold there, D.
They're still down a player, the number 6. Sarver tries to work it on this far right side, but ball ends up going into touch. Ingram not able to field it cleanly. Look at that squirrel in the back for Columbus. Lance, I feel like you'd fit really well in that suit.
Yeah.
I actually would. I would look really good in that suit. and I would cheer my team to a win as best as I can. This Columbus team trying to win a D1 Midwest Championship. Got everybody out.
Looks like our yellow card, Haggerty Evans, is back on. She gives a massive hit coming into the number 12. Big fence coming in, and it leaves a little bit of space out wide. A cut back inside from the number 11 with the fend ends up getting her some space. She's bottled up quickly. That's Vorsak. Vorsak brings her down, but they're continuing now to drive over the legs.
Don't move. Thank you.
Doing a good job of listening to the ref. Poe now has it. She tucks it quickly. She's going to try and take that corner. The number 14 brings her down. That's Ingram. Here's some talk coming in from the referee, asking them to leave it alone. They're under a lot of pressure here, though, but the Squirrels end up getting it away. They've got a lot of space out to the right if they can. A lot of gaps are starting to open up. They elect now to go ahead and use their forwards. Again, finding those big gaps. They dish out a fend of their own. Some of these players going in a little bit high, and both teams are making them pay for it. They go ahead and elect to use a boot of their own. That's Radnitzer. Radnitzer gets some good ground. Ball will go ahead and hit touch right at the 22.
The physicality of this game has already found itself. I mean, big fins, big charges, big tackles. Already these ladies are trying to fight. Early on, they're showing what they have in them. I mean, big energy from these ladies in the D2 championship. As we look on to Detroit, up 18-12 on Red River with just under 20 minutes left. Impeccable catch from the Red River player who slipped. But this Detroit tradesman team have a legacy, and it looks like they're trying to expand on it.
Unreal footage coming in for us. We're able to watch both games, all thanks to Next Level Rugby. We're here at the Chicago Blaze Stadium. So graciously gave us this awesome venue.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Columbus now will go ahead and set up to play defense against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is unable to field it cleanly. It gets really messy back there, but move it away from the pressure area. Again, big fence coming in. These players are making people pay for going higher. That's number 5, Burkett. They get some good go forward. It's the number 15. We'll see if people want to tackle her with that leg sleeve that hasn't been washed all season. Getting caught a little bit flat. This defensive pressure is really putting on a performance from Columbus. Getting caught a little bit high. She gets a lot of good go forward. That's Ford, who's afraid of butterflies, so I wonder if Columbus will bring out a couple. She's not held right there. That's the number 12. Continuing now to pummel on. They elect to go to the boot because they're not finding a whole lot of real estate. The number 15 fields it cleanly. She's got some space to work with. Poe's open. Poe uses a little bit of a show and go. Poe uses a fend. They're now right outside of the 22. A good run up coming in from her. She's tough. Cut back inside. Good evasive footwork. Right at the 22 now is the Squirrels. Hearing communication coming in. They've got a lot of gaps opening up out here. Royez, she sees it, moves it to the number 11. Another big fend. It uses the referee a little bit. Again, though, big hits coming in as she cuts back inside. She's not going down without a fight, though. Finally brought to ground. Number 10, Francis, moves it to Royez. Royez moves it to the number 15. That's Post. Post gets knocked right into touch by the skin of her ankles. And you can hear the hype coming in as Pittsburgh now get to go ahead and have a line out right by all of their fans.
I'll keep it on it, T. They've looked good to me.
I've seen already some phenomenal play from the backs on both sides. I mean, you got Poe for Columbus. You got Shannon Cross. She's doing work for Columbus. Seems like every time she gets the ball, it's a half break or a full line break. A few players from Pittsburgh, but somehow Columbus has found the energy after the yellow card.
Backwards.
Strangely enough, now the teams are even. They have found their front foot. They have found their forward step. And now Pittsburgh has an opportunity to maybe relieve some pressure here after the lineout.
Player didn't roll first.
Referee calling for a player to roll out of that breakdown. And because of a lack of listening, the Pittsburgh Forge will now have the election to kick for touch, get a line out. They've done very well at the set piece.
Yeah, I hear you. That's a tough one to.
Wait. I tell you what, these athletes are really competing well at the breakdown. The points of contact, not just within the breakdown, but also when it comes time for the tackle. I mean, these athletes are dishing some big performances. Again. Ball ends up getting knocked back due to an aggressive contest coming in from both teams. Oy. And again, that separation that they get coming in from Burkett gets them a little bit of space. They get caught flat-footed, so number 13 is trying to find some options, Royez, but ends up taking it in herself. Poe has to come in to make that tackle. They've got some space to go ahead and work it left, but they elect to go ahead and go for the kick. A knock on, though, unfortunately, from the number 9. That's Parma Bowers. Leads to a scrum right within the 40 and the 50.
Unfortunately, she might have been distracted from bird watching, not looking the ball in, and those kind of mistakes can really, really, really affect the team's confidence. Because one thing Columbus needs is ball in hand. When they're on the front foot, they seem to be dangerous, and the opportunities are starting to make themselves more and more and more. Unfortunately, one knock on, and now Pittsburgh have an opportunity to get away from their own try line and be as dangerous as they were earlier in this first half.
Morgan Haggerty set with the throw in. She goes ahead and backs up the number 8, flips it through the legs. Not an easy skill, but she makes it look simple. Cut back inside. She keeps the ball, moves it to Royez. Royez almost does an around the world pass with the rugby ball. Ends up bobbling it on that turnaround.
Great scrub.
And right here, Haggerty, and as a fellow 8-man, whenever you're under pressure and the ball is moving forward, it's not easy to flick it through the legs, but it's a good tactic to get the ball and to get space out wide. Royez, if the ball had made it to hands, would have had more than enough space. Very smart and cheeky play coming in from Pittsburgh.
Set.
Columbus end up getting a penalty because of a drive going straight up. Francis looks around for her options.
Thank you.
Francis finds one of those big runners. Jordan moves it to the number 8. That's Menke. Menke ends up losing it, though, in contact. Ball continues to kind of hit the deck until it's fielded now by the number 6. Sarver. Good straightening run coming in, though, from Royez. Poe comes across and has to make that hit. She gets up to try and contest for the ball. Does she get it? Poe, the one-man show.
Poe is phenomenal today. Brittany, one of the players from Pittsburgh that they really have to watch out for, has a break, a real opportunity to put danger in. And Poe, not only the chase down tackle, I mean, this line right here, the leg drive to fight through, to get through. Great job by Brittany. Poe with the chase down, drag down, back on her feet, clear, established, release, hands on the ball. That is technical. You couldn't teach that better. That is practice skill right there. Good job on Poe, showing up again, popping out on screen, getting the turnover for her team.
She's already just so close to the ground, so she makes it look so easy, but that's not an easy skill. Ball ends up coming straight out. So referee will go ahead and blow it up. It's still in favor of the Pittsburgh Forge. We're at 5-0 with Pittsburgh leading after an early try. 26 minutes gone in this first half for the Women's D1 Championship here for the Midwest. We still have a lot more rugby left to go, and if there's anything that the first 25 minutes showed us, it's that both teams are here to play. We've got everything to play for here.
Set.
Scrum is now set and underway.
Hold there, D. Thank you.
Again, the little hike coming out through the legs. Now going ahead and moving it. That's our early try scorer. It's Philippek. Philippek is brought to ground. They go ahead and use that boot yet again. It looks like it was tipped, though, by the number 15. Kick didn't go where I think they all wanted it to. So now Columbus have the opportunity to attack out. Swarming over top is Pittsburgh.
Hold in front.
They go ahead and give a little bit of a kick of their own. Number 11 has time to field it. She does. So confidently tries to take it right into Columbus. Steve Green having now to scramble to get back on defense. Realigning well. They're doing a good job of putting on some pressure.
Yeah.
Looks like that target was for
Forward.
Haggerty Evans, but the sideline ends up catching it.
Green scrub.
It's a forward pass, so it'll go in favor of Columbus.
Just the last little bit. I mean, this Pittsburgh team seems to be more and ready to go. If they just fix those last little pieces, they can find themselves putting more points on the board than they do now. Great showing so far, but got to be technical at the very end of those in order to really get rewarded as a team.
Bind. Set.
Francis with the put in. Scrum doesn't move an inch. And as I say that, it looks like the Forge was putting on a little bit of pressure there, but they are able to get it out. They move it now to the center. She gives a fend of her own, and then because of that separation, she gets some good go forward, right over the 40. Solid line break from Columbus. They're under a lot of pressure here, so they go ahead and they move it to a runner who's waiting around that corner. That's the number 1, Kiki Jordan. Kiki Jordan continuing to take bodies with her. Oh, and an unfortunate mishap, a misconnection between Jordan and Hatowski. Let's look at this run. They're so patient, Lance.
Absolutely. I mean, the space is there. She has the speed. You don't see much times that the prop is turning the corner on people, but the prop turns the corner. Team and support chasing frantically to get close. And I mean, it's going to take so many people to get there. Could have took it down, but even while she was getting pulled down, you see the hand clap, upset that offload wasn't accurate. Now Pittsburgh with the line out.
Backwards by
Jordan
one.
also a yoga instructor, so I wonder if that's how she gets out her frustrations. We see here Pittsburgh is already off to the races. They won that line out, so they're going to go ahead and try and move it through the hands now. They have some space to work with to the right. They get it into the hands of Royes. Poe, though, makes a big contact. She's not held, and this looks like some really good speed coming in from the number 11, it looks like. Royes is over top of that. They're well over the 50 now. Almost knocking on the door of the 22. Number 15 picks it up. That's Nikki Post. Moving it now to the number 20. That contact almost looked a little bit high, but referee says play on.
Yeah, I was obstructed.
Back in the hands of the number 8. It goes to the try scorer, the only try scorer. That's Philippek.
And I see the ref. They're talking about that last tackle with the assistant refs. We might go back to that one.
Referee calls for a knock on after an almost too smart of a play. We'll go ahead and take a look at this possible high hit that I think both of us saw.
From here, ladies.
Quick pop. Oh, face-to-face contact. We've seen red cards on the international stage from tackles like this. Mitigating the issue. No mitigation. No. Didn't change body height. Didn't stay low. Unfortunately, Pittsburgh took a shot and won't be rewarded with the yellow card for that high tackle. But, man, that is big collision right there. And it seems as though that contact might have... Nope. Looks like Poe is down. But while we have a second, Rugby Co. Looking for an easy way to order gear and raise money? Open a team store with Rugby Co. It's completely free to set up, and your team makes money for every product sold. Go to www.rugbyco.com www.rugbee.co to sign up today. Rugby Co. Team store, bulk orders, event gear. They have everything you need. Join the bees. Become part of the beehive. Rugby.co.
Oh, looks like she's up and she's walking. She's been playing rugby for a lot of years. Also does a lot of rugby league play. But we'll talk about this massive break coming in from Royez. A big initial hit comes in from Poe, but it's her determination to keep going. And then she moves it away from space. That's such an unselfish play. Ends up getting it and getting some more space for her team.
Crouch.
Pittsburgh is showing a lot of high rugby intelligence here early on. We've got about 10 minutes left to go in this first half for the D1 championship for the Midwest.
Understood. Need to hold your weight.
That's going to be a pretty unique conversation between Bo and Brittany. They spend a lot of time on teams together, touring on select sides and playing all over the USA, whether rugby union or league. I will want to sit in that room for that conversation after this game because they are really going at it right now.
Bind. Set.
And if you see on your screen right now, we have Detroit Tradesmen and Red River. Red River actually got the lead, and Detroit scored again to take it back. Red River under 3 minutes, frantically trying to get points on the board so that they can be the Midwest D3 champions. As you can see, that game is physical.
It's a tackle now.
And with a team like Detroit Tradesmen and the history they have, they're definitely trying to hold up the standard that they have for years. Red River fighting to establish their own strong history. And this game is going to go down to the wire with Red River charging in now.
Both teams are putting on an absolute performance here on this Veterans Day. They go ahead and now use the pick and go. Pittsburgh now are getting caught a little bit disconnected. So Columbus tried to contest for the ball, and it looks like referee's giving them a little bit of an advantage after coming in from the side. Continuing, though, to press on. The number 3, Lulu Darwell, tries to pick that ball away, but she's unsuccessful. Philippek has got it now. Philippek tries to hit the hinge, but she's brought down. A little lack of ball security ends up to the ball being bobbled. The number 11 now has it. She gets tackled yet again. That contest between Matway and Hataski. Sarver now trying to etch their way through. The number 1. Chips trying to get over the top, but she's unsuccessful. 21 moves it to Haggerty. Haggerty gets it to the number 15, Cardamon. Cardamon not going down without a fight. She's finally brought to ground with support coming. Bot moves it to the woman with the fen, that's Burkett. Burkett, though, leaves the ball open for a split second. The advantage, though, was never gained for that initial coming in from the side penalty. Looks like it's an offsides penalty, excuse me. So now we'll have a center penalty. You have to wonder what Pittsburgh is kind of thinking. Will they go for a scrum? Will they take some points? Are they going to go ahead and just play? Take the number 1. Chips is going to go ahead and set it down.
If they have belief and trust in their kicker, and it looks like they're going to go with the kick, assistant judges, referees are moving into the sticks. But this is a good time to extend pass and get a 2-possession lead right now. You obviously had the momentum. You find yourself, Pittsburgh find themselves on their attacking end so much that it's almost important to get as many points as you can while you can, and maybe establish an extended lead early on, because defensively, Pittsburgh has been playing pretty much as well as you can with a team as explosive and the ability of Columbus. Easy points to get. Let's see if she can get these points right now. 15, McKenzie. Teacher for the visually impaired. The leg sleeve hasn't been washed, but can she get a clean 3 points on this penalty?
It goes up. Kick is good. So that'll extend their lead now, 8-0. Pittsburgh Forge on top. Already racing back to go ahead and get ready for the kick receipt. But Columbus, I mean, we're in a very tight scoring game here. 8-0 is not that massive of a change in points. We've got about 36 minutes.
And time has expired.
And the
Red
and the
River.
move you. Oh, go ahead.
Time has expired.
No, you got it, Lance. This is your thing.
Listen, Detroit tradesman gives up a try and now are down. And I believe the ref is saying that the time has expired. Red River might have just taken the D3 Midwest Championship. We'll give you an update as soon as we can, but I believe Okay.
So that'll be half for our field on the D1 championship for the women. Looks like there's still time to go, though, for this Red River and Detroit game at 24-23 for the D3 championship, and it looks like they're about out of time.
Thank you.
Well, we'll go ahead and we'll go to break. We'll be back for the second half here with this matchup of Columbus versus Pittsburgh Forge. Pittsburgh Forge leading 8-0. Stay with us because this match looks like it's only going to get even more heated. It's going to be a second half you don't want to miss. Stay with us.
You know, we as a country, we've been at war since 2001. And I think that a lot of people who are not involved in the military really don't think about it.
Get across. House 19, but I'm saying, you know, we finish here, but we can orient up and then get eyes on the enemy. Yeah.
It's not on the forefront of the news anymore, but we have people out every day taking risk, and obviously sometimes they pay the ultimate price.
I mean, there's some hard stories in there. So they're all great guys. You wish they were still here today with you, but you understand. You know, duty calls. They serve the mission, and there's tragedy and everything. And you know, a lot of them died in war. Others died when they came back home. And
we have our jerseys, and since the beginning, we've worn a black mourning band, and that black mourning band stands apart as a reminder to us of who we're playing for.
Who are we playing for?
Marines.
Our brothers. Right there. That's what we're playing for. Play with their fighting spirit. They can't be here. You fucking make it up for them right now, all right?
there's a lot of suffering and pain involved, but you try to bring the good out in every situation, and this is our way of doing it.
It's Friday night, what we come here for. That's the main event. And we go to the Legion, and we have the ceremony. Remember our fallen, talk about them, we tell stories, remember their lives.
Brett Beacon. Lance Corporal Richard Brustetta. Major Jeremy Grazik. Lieutenant Colonel Dave Green. Major Ryan Hansen. Lance Corporal Eric Herzberg. Sergeant Donald Lamar. Major John Lee. Captain John Maloney. Major Kevin Nave. Gunnery Sergeant Cap Pelletier. Captain Michael Quinn. Captain Patrick Rapico. Major John Roca. Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Shea. Corporal Jared Shoemaker. Lance Corporal Keynote Snow. Major Keith Takabayashi. Corporal Tyler Trevelyan. Captain Al Ziegler. As we do, let's raise a toast. I'm going to ask everybody to stand. To our fallen. And as we do, first verse of the Marine Corps hymn. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles on the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marines.
That means you fucking put your shoulder into every...
Nah, one word is family. Like, you got people like you can depend on.
It's great. We all love each other. We all like hanging out at these tournaments. I mean, we all choose to come here. We don't have to be here, you know. It's just good fun coming out on a Sunday, playing, getting all together. And
New York Rugby Club is a great community because it puts you around great people such as Alex, my coach Alex, and he teaches me more about rugby, how I can make my game better every day.
You know, as a coach, what I'm trying to get is better people, really. The unique thing about rugby is what it does off the field. And, you know, I talk to these guys and these kids off the field, talking about their school, understanding where they want to go to college. You know, for me, we're trying to get better people out of this program rather than just better rugby players.
Probably my favorite part of playing rugby is, like, I can forget any problem I'm having at school or at home or just any kind of worry or burden and just like giving my all on the field, and then I get off and I feel like I've accomplished something, and then it helps me with other stuff outside of, you know, the confidence outside of rugby basically.
It's brought up a lot of my confidence. I wasn't very confident in middle school. I've just become so much like a better person to myself. I see myself in such a bigger light, and I'm honestly so much happier playing rugby.
And what's quite unique about this club is you're not having one type of school or one stereotypical type of kid. You know, you're getting a mixed variety, and you get to see all these different kids actually come together and work together once a week or twice a week when we practice. So definitely that's the biggest impact, seeing kids from different backgrounds and different histories and you know, different parts of the world really come together and work together for a common goal, which is rugby. Let's get more kids playing sport because we know what that can do to them off the field, and in turn, let's send more to college.
And without rugby, I think it would be a lot harder for me to get into some schools that I want to get into. So I'm really thankful that I've been involved with the sport and had that kind of like extra push when it comes to college and higher education.
Hi team, welcome back to the second half of the D1 Midwest Championship. Columbus Women's Rugby, the Squirrels versus Pittsburgh Forge. And we have seen an absolute incredible matchup. Big runs, massive hits, big fends. My name is Darian Lovelace. I'm joined by Lance Kavanaugh. Lance, talk us through this whole first half because it was a whirlwind.
Outside of a penalty kickoff and a quick tap for tries, both teams have been playing fully physical, fully 100%. I'm excited to see how this second half go. Can Columbus climb back from this 2-possession deficit, or will Pittsburgh extend and become D1 champions?
Ball is up and ready for the kickoff here on Veterans Day. And they are showing a performance here already right from the jump.
Ball's available.
Both teams are competing heavily here at every single point of contact. Big hit, though, coming in from Burkett. Keep an eye on that number 5. She loves the hit, but she loves the defend even more. They go ahead and use a behind-the-back pass. The number 15 cuts back inside. Slips through one tackle. Finally brought to ground, though. They go ahead and move it now to the right-hand side. The number 8 humbles Royas. Brings her straight to ground, but she's met by Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh continuing now to have to play a lot of defense here as Columbus continues to press on. They've got some wide room to work it out to the left. They go ahead and they move it. An outside attacker. She gets caught behind the back, though, of one of her players, and so that'll be an obstruction call.
I mean, physicality in bunches, but right here, just got caught on the wrong side of her pass. Unfortunately, the penalty is given to Pittsburgh. Columbus, yet again, finding momentum, showing physicality, showing their ability to attack, but the last little bit, not technical at the end, and turnover it is.
Scott moves it to her partner in crime, that's Chips. Chips takes it down. Haggerty Evans. Now they're playing a little bit more dynamic movements, though, in their forward pods. Forwards are doing a good job of the pin and pass. Backs now have it, but this line speed coming in from Columbus forces their number 10, Bestwick, to have to move her way back inside. Number 15 does a little chip kick of her own. Goes behind the back of Petoskey.
Good touch, nothing quick.
And that'll be a line out going in favor of, it looks like the Columbus team will now have the opportunity to attack out of their 22.
I am quite interested in both of these teams. They have so many players that play with each other, so many players that cross paths throughout the years. I played with Columbus's assistant coach in college, so to see him coaching a team that's fighting for a Midwest championship is a proud moment. It shows that the rugby community is thriving and people are giving back to the game. But that line out right there just needed to be a drip better. Now Pittsburgh again, great opportunity, and this is where they found themselves many a times. Mistake and being able to capitalize. Let's see if they have it in them to do so.
Line out was called not straight, so then it goes right back into the hands of Pittsburgh.
Back up, back up, back up.
Pittsburgh now using their maul, using that forward drive. It looks like they are coming in from the side, though. As the maul got turned around, that leads to an advantage now. They finally get brought to ground. There's a gap right in front, but it's shut down quickly. Going ahead now and continuing to move it through the left. Royes takes it right into waiting Columbus players. They're going to go ahead and use their forwards now with the pick and goes. Trying to be a little bit patient here. They still have that advantage coming in from the maul. We'll see how long the Sir decides to go ahead and play it. And as I say that, he goes ahead and blows it back up due to an offsides call at the maul. And so we'll see what
Katie, you have my mark.
Pittsburgh elects to do. Only about 5 minutes gone in the second half.
3-2.
And players really love that advantage that he took. He let it hang on for a while. It instructed play early on and forced him into a path. He allowed it to play his course. Unfortunately, Pittsburgh couldn't find anything from it, so he blows it up. But great job by the Sir, keeping that maul integrity and then giving them the appropriate penalty advantage afterwards.
Nice big tunnel, ladies.
Lance, I know I said earlier that you'd look good with the squirrel suit on. I think I'd look good in the tutu and the pom-poms that Pittsburgh brought out, if you look in the far right corner. We love it whenever all the fans come out all decked out. Rugby's a sport all around. Line out goes up. It's not straight.
Free kick. Back 10.
Oh, An early jump leads to a free kick, and they're already off to the races. The number 8, she goes ahead and just takes it right to them. That's Vorsak. Vorsak is successful there, just with that individual heads-up play. That's how they got that first try, and it'll continue to extend the lead now. We're at 13-0 in this D1 Midwest Championship final.
Not only is Carrie a construction supervisor for Pittsburgh City Schools, but also a back-to-back basketball champion and one crossover move, drive and dribble, and one try as she gets points again for this Pittsburgh team. This group is absolutely rolling. Any mistake by Columbus is being capitalized on. Couldn't get the ball out of their own end. Mistake on the maul, and all it took was a line-out infraction. Quick tap yet again, as we've seen. This is the second try from a quick tap, which are the 2 tries from this Pittsburgh team. And they're just up in the tempo. With this kick conversion, the extension of score to 15 makes it a potentially 3-try game. And flag stayed down, shanked just a little bit. The leg sleeve couldn't get a clean conversion. 13-0. Pittsburgh is up. And I mean, Cincinnati has to find their moments now. They have to put it all together or this game can get out of hand. I mean, look at the drive. No help from the teammates because they couldn't get there in time. Leg drive determination, and that's 5 points. Good job for the Pittsburgh. Good job, Carrie, carrying defenders into the try zone.
Columbus now will go ahead and set up for the kick. Mary Cooner, go ahead and kick up some of her own. Ball is fielded cleanly by Pittsburgh. Doing a good job of keeping the ball alive, also keeping the leg drive going as well. She's corralled into touch after a massive collision there in the middle. And so now Columbus will get a line out down within their 40.
Andrew, if you could watch the front, please.
Go ahead and walk in. Ball ends up getting bobbled there in the middle. Referee blows it up yet again.
Offside.
Calls an offsides call after the initial knock-on happened. So again, Pittsburgh, the Forge.
They don't know that they need to get back 10. They can go quick now. This is a great opportunity. Pittsburgh, quick taps have been working for them, but they choose to slow it down.
Knock on and player in front caught it.
Using the boot of Cardamone. Cardamone, it gets a lot of meters down there within that end.
Yeah, knock on offside.
Almost close to the 22.
Hold throw, just a sec.
Looks like they've got a replacement that came in for
Good to go.
Pittsburgh. That's the number 16, Amy Nien. Her first throw of the match ends up getting fielded well by Sarver. Sarver saves it. It goes to the danger woman with the big fend. Oh, but she's brought down. Gets the offload, though, to Philippek. Philippek gets it to Royez. Royez is knocking on the door of the try zone. They're about 5 meters out. They pick and go quickly. Columbus is having to scramble back.
Last foot for me.
Working that edge now. They go ahead and they move it to their number 10. The number 10 moves it out wide. This looks very good from them. She ends up getting knocked over right into the try zone. And that's another try for Pittsburgh.
Is that Holly? Is that Holly? Holly with the leg drive, the forward play by Pittsburgh, getting the bump off. Quick pick and goes, no need to play it slow, and found a way to get it all the way out to the space so that Holly Ingram falls into the try zone with 2 defenders dragging on her. Not only does she have 2 dogs at home, but she dogged 2 defenders to get into the try zone there. What an incredible team try, maximizing any inconsistency or mistake by Columbus. Even then, the speed that they play with on those last 2 phases, it makes it almost impossible to defend. I mean, the drive and the skip pass all the way out to Holly. Holly inside step, strong carry, and falls into the corner for the try. What a team try. And we're looking at Pittsburgh running away with the game right now. Conversion to come. Let's see if the leg sleeve can get a clean conversion.
Send him now.
It goes up. Looks like it's going to veer to the right. So that'll keep our score 18-0. But this skill set that comes in from Beswick, she skips 2 attackers and recognizes that the space is out wide. And then the individual effort to get over the top of that last defender. I mean, Pittsburgh is just playing very, very intelligent rugby. They're looking up and they're recognizing the space. They're attacking it with confidence. And Columbus, we saw in the first 20 minutes, they did really well, but we're starting to see a little bit of a drop off from them. They've got to go ahead and find this energy here early on.
Definitely.
Go ahead and bring it down. It's like a not rolling away penalty, though, coming in for Columbus. Ends up giving the ball right back to Pittsburgh.
Mark's on you. 15.
I mean, Pittsburgh has this team thing going right now where they're almost unbeatable. Next person up makes the play. They need a big run, pick a player out of the crowd. They are making that play. They need a big turnover, some kind of counter-wrecking situation, big pushes coming from the forward pack. And the backs are doing everything they can to make the most of the table set by these forwards. Set piece to come.
Sarver must have molasses on her hands because she's been unreal up in the front of that line out. And as we talk about that, we've also got a line break coming in from the number 8. Intelligent, smart, patient play coming in from Borsak. Borsak continues to move on. Filipek now has it. Filipek's attacking. She gets tossed to ground finally, but they're about 15 meters outside of the try zone yet again. Pittsburgh continuing now to pummel through. They've got forward swarming over the top. They'll use the pick and go. Trying to bring them down is Columbus. They're set up and they're low. This leg drive, though, they've got a bunch of space to work it out to the right if they can. You see some defenders coming across as they recognize it as well. Columbus now putting on a lot of line speed against Pittsburgh. This is better defense from them.
Tackle now, release.
Continuing to try and hold them up.
Don't touch the ball.
They'll try and go ahead and dive over top of that ruck, but it'll be short. This was our yellow card from earlier, Haggerty Evans. She continues to keep the legs going. Finally brought down to ground by Columbus. The Squirrels.
Last foot, ladies. Last foot.
Continuing now, they make that big hit on Scott. It's held up, fortunately from them, and that's a very, very well done defensive effort from Columbus.
Absolutely. Scott almost with an opportunity to score. The law student couldn't lawyer herself into the try zone, couldn't litigate 5 points for her team, and now we have a dropout. And this rule right here is newer over the last couple years, but I mean the effect it's been having on the game. That leg drive at the very end and not putting it down can be catastrophic to where you don't get points at all.
Ball doesn't go very far. It only goes about 15 meters, but they are able to quickly get Pittsburgh down to ground. Very dangerous whenever Borsak has it because she does things like this. Absolutely dishes a fend and gets that player right off of her. The number 7, Haggerty Evans, she gets some good go forward. There's a contest, though, happening over top. Is that Poe? Poe, of course, is going to go ahead and get the turnover there. That's exactly what Columbus needs. They're going to go ahead and try and relieve some pressure here. They go to the boot.
Everyone's on.
Kick goes about 22 meters. There's a swarm of players, both competing for it. A knock-on against Pittsburgh ends up giving it right back to Columbus, and they'll get a scrum right at the 22 in center field position. But Poe, she's so sneaky when she gets any room in that breakdown.
There's some new front rows.
She is the hero that they needed. I mean, any opportunity to stop a try or make an impact, Poe has been there for Columbus. Unfortunately, on the offensive end, it hasn't yielded dividends. They haven't been able to get any points. But like I said, not getting that try down, it being held up, could keep them from Pittsburgh from getting points in general. Great defensive effort from Columbus, but can they relieve this pressure and find space?
Loose head, driving up.
We see the loose head get called for driving up, and Francis is going to go ahead and go quick. She tucks the ball, tries to get it away quick, but a big hit comes in. She doesn't get it to Poe, which is who she was looking for. Francis is up, though, and moving. They've got to come in and try and get this player to ground quickly, as Pittsburgh tried to look like they were going to take her out of bounds. They're unsuccessful, though. They go to the boot. It's outside of the 22. Ends up going right over the 50. That's number 15. That's Cardamon. Cardamon moves it away to Philippek. Ball looks debatably forward on that, but it's not called. That's Royez. Royez doesn't need any help finding some meters, so she gets brought down to ground. Trying to roll out of there is the other number 13. She looks like she's down, though. Absolutely pushes Francis over. Poe swarms over top of that ball. Offloads it off of the ground. And now they've got some real estate to work with here. And it goes in favor of Columbus. Columbus now have the ball. Ends up running through one set of hands and finds its way in the number 3.
I see him.
Now using the danger woman, this is Kiki Jordan. Kiki Jordan trying to get around, continues now to press on, keeping those legs driving.
No hands, thank you.
It's exactly what they need. They continue to go forward. Moving in now to the number 15. She just goes ahead and pins her ears back. Met, though, by the number 11. Matt Way gets her down. Just chipping away at this defense. They just need to maintain possession here. Tries to give just show and go. Gives it right back inside. She's a little bit isolated, but they're slow to roll away, so that buys them a little bit of time. Super deep, though. Off of the ruck. Buys them some extra meters. She's again isolated. They get over the ball. The number 12 tries to give a pass. Gets it to Poe. Poe's got some real estate to work with. She stays in very well. Ball was debatably forward, but it ends up coming right back around. Looks like it was almost taken out of bounds, but
penalty advantage, 15, not 10.
They elect to go ahead and go quick. Penalty advantage is there for
Don't touch the ball.
Columbus after Pittsburgh getting a taste of their own medicine. Didn't get back 10 quickly. A knock on, though, ends up leading for the referee to end up calling it back for not being back 10.
Not 10.
We see some players as they come back.
Not 10 from here. 15. On the R's. 10 for me. 10 from here.
That's a whole lot of meters gained for Columbus.
It's your play.
That was the best extension of play we've probably seen from both teams, getting from one side of the field to the other, working in tandem in groups, leg drive, everybody raising their hand to do their part to get them down the field. Penalty to come and the charge. Here we go. Whoa!
Kiki Jordan doing what she does best, which is making some go-forward ball. They move it to the substitute. That's Gray. Gray continuing to stay up. She's finally taken down, though, by Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh having to play a lot of defense here. They've got a lot of numbers to the right if they can move it. A little bit of some footwork gets them away. A straightening run, though, coming in from the number 11. She's almost at the try zone, continuing, though, to move her legs. That's the first try of the match for Columbus, and it is done by none other than that is Cross Hatoski for Columbus.
Crisscross applesauce. The play from outside in, the inside out move on the 15, bringing in multiple defenders with the offload post, doing a great job. And when Shannon has the ball in Hannon, oh my goodness, we might get another score. 5 given to this Columbus Squirrel team who've been fighting really hard. You can see players on the Columbus side just so relieved to get some points, happy, setting themselves up. But it's not enough. They have to put on more and more. Now down 13 with a kick to come. An 11-point game is manageable with the time that's left. And what a perfect time to show up and put some points on.
Cooner will go ahead and kick for points. Kick looks like it's up. Looks like it veered to the left, though. So Flags will stay down 5-18. We've got about 20 minutes left to go in the second half. Took about 20 minutes for both teams to get a score on the board. 60 minutes in total for Columbus to finally get some points. But this skill set, Lance, I mean, the cut back inside, and here's my favorite part. She puts 2 hands on the ball for a good offload.
Yeah, they're coming.
That confidence and skill, and then the determination and the resiliency from these players to try and get any type of points on the board when they've been shut out time and time again. Both teams are here to play, and now we've really got a match on our hands.
Absolutely. Posted an amazing job and did what her job is to bring in defenders and find a space for the wings and people on the outside. She did exactly that. Once once Cross got the offload, inside cut, and leg drive gets 5 for Columbus. But 13 points isn't insurmountable. They just have to start showing up now, just like they did these last phases of play.
It goes up, and it is taken down by the number 6, Pooner. Ball is taken in. A lot of pressure coming in at this breakdown. They've got some space to work it out to the right. It's gone through a couple sets of hands. Working it back on the inside. That's the assist in the try. It's the number 15, Nikki Post. Post is brought down right at the 40. They've got a lot of space to work it out to the left if they go ahead and use it. Francis moves it to the number 10, who then moves it to Cooner. Cooner cuts back inside, tries to find a player looping around, but she's tossed down by her counterpart, Patsy Ford. Columbus really having to regather. They've lost a lot of ground here as Pittsburgh is coming up unified on their defense. A little bit of a show and go. Cooner's now got to continue to take it in. Nobody looking like they're ready for the ball just yet. They're very flat, but making something out of nothing is Post. Post almost gets taken straight to ground, but she continues to truck on. This is our try scorer, the number 11. All of this elusive footwork gets her into a very good position.
No advantage.
We've got a ruck after an advantage is given due to a knock on. But both teams are competing heavily at the breakdown in these probably within the last 5 to 10 minutes.
Absolutely. And Pittsburgh been having their way in the breakdowns for the course of the game. Really causing confusion around the ruck areas. Counter-rucking, a lot of poaches. But this Cincinnati team is showing something right now. They're trying to keep the ball active, trying to keep it open, trying to keep ball in play. Everyone's getting touches. They're going, Columbus going sideline to sideline. And apologies for the Columbus Ohio boy making simple mistakes. But Columbus doing a great job. And it's great to see. It's great to see them find their fight with less than 20 minutes to go. What better time now than to show up and show the best that you have?
Pittsburgh almost dominating, though, at that scrum. They hold on for dear life is Columbus. Post cuts back inside, trying to find a loop around. Finds it within her number 10. She cuts back in. Makes a smart decision of keeping the ball. You see some players ending up right behind the breakdown, so they don't get a lot of go forward. Ball goes out, and Francis has to pick it up. And not rolling away penalty might have been why that ball ended up going a little bit wayward. And we're seeing the penalties start to rack up against Pittsburgh. They got that early yellow card.
Yeah, this is when you want the same results that you were getting earlier without putting in that same amount of work, taking shortcuts instead of doing all the great things that made your defensive structure so strong in the first half, especially with Columbus roaring forward at every opportunity. The subs have come in. Right now, Ray has the ball from New York, found herself in Columbus, but just couldn't keep retained. And now Pittsburgh is on the front foot of the attack.
Pittsburgh now on the attack with Columbus having to scramble back on defense. Slow looks a little bit, Hold looks a little bit slow.
Release!
But they do a good job of corralling them back inside. Both teams getting caught a little bit flat-footed here. We see the attack not really having much to work with here, as the number 10 is forced to cut back inside. This line speed, though, coming up from Columbus looks very promising. They continue to go ahead and make their way up. Poe is over that. Poe strips it away. The defensive little terror that they have going on this side. But they're
through the ruck.
Contesting well at the breakdown. Royas gets her hand in there to try and scoop it away. Philip Heck decides to go ahead and calm things down a skosh.
Scrum, no scrum, right into the ref.
It's like an accidental obstruction with the ref.
It's a scrum.
Sir calls it back because it is a scrum because it was accidental, but you see how excited Francis was to go ahead and try and take that ball and run with it.
Hey, that's heads up. They need something. I would appreciate more if more players from Columbus will have that energy. Any opportunity to go forward, any opportunity to get the ball closer to their attacking try zone, the best. 13 points isn't insurmountable, but you need center tries underneath the sticks as best as possible in order to relinquish this lead, and it takes a tempo kick. And it looks like Columbus is up to it, trying to up the tempo right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Got about 15 minutes left to go.
Hookers, if you make
You're in this
right foot
D1 Midwest Championship.
Line up. Right foot, left of the mark.
Pittsburgh still on top, leading 18-5. We're watching the minutes tick away after it took Columbus about 60 minutes to get in their first try of the match.
Bind. Set.
Scrum is underway. We saw the head of this loose head prop pop out after not driving straight, and they do what they do best. That's the number 8, Warsack. She's already ready to continue to play on. Continuing now to knock at the door. Looks like she thought that she might be in for the try zone. She's short.
Yeah.
It's a double movement, so referee, of course, blows that up. But that was pretty close for Pittsburgh. They almost got in that 4th try.
Absolutely, and that happens to the best of us. Mistaking the 5-meter line for the try zone. Too eager, one of those points. Unfortunately, you're just a little bits away. Not as close as you thought, unfortunately, and it's a turnover for the double move.
Thank you, Katie.
And these are the breaks that Columbus needs. They need these little moments where they hold up a try, or they get a turnover right inside the 5-meter line.
12 minutes, 12 and a half.
They need these as much as possible, and they need to get some points on the board. 13 minutes left for your season for the D1 Midwest Championship. Now is your moment. Now you got to find it offensively.
You're so right. It's the little moments that end up to the moment. And Columbus needs a moment in order to try and continue to inch their way. See a little bit of confusion as to what's happening regarding substitutes.
Hey, so your subs come on. Time is off.
Referee calls for time being off, and it looks like a bunch of substitutes now are rolling in for the final 15 minutes of this D1 championship. It's a very tricky game, though, with the substitutes and the finishers coming on. You want to make sure that you can trust them because this score is only a 13-point difference. Not a lot of points are needed, but you have to have full faith in your finishers as we go ahead and we see the line out. Get hit all the way in the back pod.
Time's off.
Possible foul play, though.
We're looking at some colors. Ooh, oh my goodness. Just jumping onto the field, right? Yep, just started playing last year, making rookie mistakes, chest-to-chest bump, and right in front of the referee. No referee is going to stand for that. Come here, take this yellow, take the cheese, go have a seat, 10 minutes on the pine. And now, of all the moments, Columbus now has a real shot. They have an advantage just like they did at the beginning of the game. That didn't yield points.
It's not white ball.
But now, down and with a little bit more momentum, a new surge. Can they make this opportunity theirs?
Spooner kicks for touch, and she'll also be set for the throw-in. Almost ends up getting snatched up there by the substitute for Pittsburgh, but she's able to field it cleanly. Francis does a loop around play. Post goes ahead and she cuts back inside, continues to look for a way to keep the ball alive. She's unsuccessful with it, but they continue to work it around this side. The number 11 matches up well with her counterpart. Brought down, though, as this defense continues to hold strong. Penalty advantage yet again for not rolling away against Pittsburgh. They're going to go ahead and a quick tap.
Oh.
Looks like there's a number 11 down over on the other side after falling over another player, but they continue to press on. It looks like there's a turnover, though, in the tackle. So now Pittsburgh are going to go ahead and continue to attack. They've got a lot of space to work it out to the right. Rugby Evans goes ahead and continues to keep it in. That's the number 5, Burkett. Burkett moves it away to the number 14. Ingram's got it. Ingram tries to keep the ball alive. Ball's now available. Royez cuts back in, cuts back out, moves it to the 22. Haggerty Evans has it. The number 19, that's a sub, Jackson. Sorry, Miss Jackson. There's a counter ruck happening here.
You're good, Green.
Columbus now have to go ahead and get it together here. Everything is getting a little bit messy here as both teams deciding what to do next. We've got a lot of ground to cover here. Columbus in the green. They go ahead and they use the boot of the number 12. Rednitzer. Rednitzer kicks it directly to the number 14, and she's going to go ahead and have a go. Ingram gives it back into her counterpart, Matway. Matway making her way towards the try zone. They're about 5 to 10 meters out. So Columbus is yet again going to have to play some defense.
Tackle. Step for me. Step back.
Remember, the winger is hurt, so it's even numbers right now. The winger is on the sideline hurt for Columbus, so it's even numbers with the yellow card.
Ball's available.
Reyes cuts back inside. Number 22, substitute. She's got it. Poe comes across, though, makes a big hit. Both teams competing heavily for the ball. Looks like Cooner came away with it, though. Columbus now have to settle. They've got some time to work with. Big Fenn comes off of the substitute. She brings Haggerty Evans to ground quickly. Columbus, though, trying to attack out of this end as Pittsburgh swarms over top.
No hands!
Finally, they go ahead and find the boot. Doesn't seem to go very far. After an offsides call, though, the referee calls it back. So we'll see what Columbus decides to do.
Offside.
But again, they did just lose that number 11, Matway, the only try scorer.
These moments right here, it is definitely what you were speaking on earlier with subs coming in. And the worst thing a coach can do is make sub decisions that affect the game negatively for their team. It looks like the energy is there for Columbus, but can the subs bring in a resurgence and up the score for them as soon as possible?
Francis gets it to Nikki, as we can hear on the broadcast. Post, though, cuts back inside. She's so slippery. Works it out to the wing. It looks like the number 11 is back in there.
Yep, touch. Yeah.
Referee calls it up for touch. And we enter into this last 10 minutes, 5 to 18. Yep. It's a 13-point difference, which is pretty massive as you enter into the final 10 minutes of it. It's obtainable, but it's not going to be an easy feat, seeing as how Columbus hasn't made their way down in this end since that try happened about 15 minutes ago.
That's 7.
So if they want to continue to try and maintain it, exactly.
And their try score is out. Sub just made. So cross, inside step that has been opening doors for Columbus is now gone. And can they get points at a moment's notice like now? Because everything has to be immediate. Time is running out. Time is now your enemy as well as the opponent in front of you.
Going ahead and trying to work it wide. They're still getting caught a little bit flat-footed, so Filipek has to go ahead and take it in. Will they just chip away and try and maintain possession? This is very important for them. The number 23, one of the replacements, comes in. She gets some good go forward. Poe's in there making a mess of things, which gets a turnover. But
14.
Looks like she might have lost her hands on the ball. The number 9 goes ahead and she goes quick, which isn't mandated as They're already up by a lot. The number 3 cuts back inside. They try and get underneath. Looks like the try is held up.
Number 23, Ray, did a good job getting underneath that because that was a try if she didn't intervene. Ray Livingston from Red Hook, New York, hooked herself underneath the ball, and another held up try as Columbus tries to drop kick from inside of their own goal.
This is very much whenever game management matters. They go ahead and they give a drop kick, which is still within about 10 meters.
Thank you.
Pittsburgh now have the ball in hand. The number 23, she almost wraps around. That's Hoff. Hoff almost bowling her way over the try zone. Their work rate still continues to show. The number 22 gets around Poe. Poe brings her down, but Poe brings her right into the try zone. And that will be a well-celebrated try. That's exactly what they needed. That's Saunders. Saunders extends the lead. We've only got about 5 minutes left to go, but what a try for Pittsburgh.
And just like that, Pittsburgh has forged themselves potentially to a Division I Midwest Championship. The ball movement, holding their feet, finding the skip space, and Poe, who has been a defensive monster all day for this Columbus team, unfortunately couldn't stop the resurgence of this Pittsburgh squad as number 2-3 gets in for the 2-2, gets in for the score. Riley, who loves snowboarding, has slid her team into a D1 Midwest Championship with less than 5 minutes to go. Barring something crazy and catastrophic. McKenzie with the conversion, leg sleeve, takes a breath. Can she nail in and get her team up 20 points with less than 4 minutes to go?
Kick goes up. Kick looks like it's veering a little bit to the left, so unfortunately that conversion won't be good, but it's really not needed. 23-5, Pittsburgh still leading, which means that it's gonna look like our Midwest D1 champion will be Pittsburgh, but we talked about it in the last game. How do you want to end your season? Pittsburgh, with plays like this, they've been so smart, so good about ball movement, but so selfless. They're very smart whenever it comes to whether or not they should move the ball, when to attack, when to keep it. And now they continuously get rewarded. But Columbus, they've got about 5 minutes left to play. How do they want to end the season? They're met right at the 10, though. You see the defensive line holding strong here. But a big line break, though, comes in from one of the replacements. They continue to go ahead and use that deep run-up, which ends up getting Burkett none other than about 10, 15 meters down the street. Looking now to continue to work the ball. They get into that passing lane, swarming over top. A knock-on called due to that hit. And so it's going to go in favor of Pittsburgh, but Columbus really showing a valiant defensive effort, even though they're watching the clock slowly dwindle away their time.
They're watching their dream of a Midwest championship slowly fade to black. But this Pittsburgh team today, it's hard for me to really figure out who is woman of the match, right? Because so many players have stepped up. So many players have put in the effort for the team. So many players have raised their hand to show why Pittsburgh is the best women's team in the Midwest. It's hard for me to really figure out and pinpoint a player of the match.
Is this an eligible?
All ladies have shown up. All ladies have done well. Now with a new sub, number 20 is out of the game. Sarah Scott is taking a break. She's going back to the law books, going back into her rugby law. And the new sub comes in as the referee discusses.
Yes. So this number 7 will be going back off, correct?
Looks like they're trying to figure out. You have a set number of persons who play as front row subs that are designated as that, and with that yellow card coming in, conversations are discussing if the front row is able to proceed.
Come on.
Looks like everybody's back on, though, for this side. They've got a full pack. Probably dropped a wing out for Pittsburgh. Got about 2 minutes left to go for this Mid 1 Women's D1 Championship.
Set.
Scrum is underway.
Lost their binds, both of you, same time.
Both props seem to have lost their binds.
Yep, even in the 78th minute, the sir is emphasizing safety. Binds drop, whistle blows. Let's set this scrum back up again.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Both teams competing heavily there. We see Haggerty Evans picks it up, dishes one fend, gets around the edge of the number 13. Royas has the ball now. She moves it now to the try scorer. That's Sanders. Sanders, so hard to bring down to ground. We see a little bit of green getting caught underneath there. That's going to be a not rolling away penalty. This is whenever game management matters, so there's no need to go too quick. We see hands go up exactly. Sometimes in these championships, we can get super focused on the fact that we still need to go, but 5 to 23, there's no need to rush it.
Time's off.
And this definitely speaks to the mentality of this team. You got players who are immediately like revved up, championship game, championship moment, trying to go, and the composure. And it's usually the forwards that are more composed. The composure of the forward pack. Let's slow it down. Let's waste some time. And also there's a player down near the try zone. It seems to have medical training staff taking care of a player around the try zone.
Looks like that unfortunately is Poe. She's still down from an initial little bump from whenever Sanders scored.
My concern is if you don't make touch.
We probably have less than a minute to go in this second half of the Midwest D1 Championship.
I don't think you will, but.
And I believe the sir was going to allow play to continue, but is worried that the ball wouldn't go to touch. Even though it's a chip shot from where they sit. Safety emphasized by the sir.
30 seconds.
And with the time stopped, the sir has signaled that there is 30 seconds left in the game. So it seems as though it's a foregone conclusion. Your 2023 Midwest Women's D1 champions, the Pittsburgh Forge, forged their way ahead. All parties involved played phenomenally. And even the ref is wondering, was she there ever since? But they wrapped up Poe's leg, who had a valiant game today. Poe defensively was the best player on the field for both teams. Poe definitely show why the team is well deserved. And Poe is being carried off the field like a true warrior that she is. Big congratulations to Poe. Capped for her home country Samoa in Rugby League, and now playing for the Columbus Squirrels for the Midwest D1 Championship. Fortunately falling short. Good job for Poe. Great game for Poe. And Godspeed on your recovery.
And ladies, if you're not in, on the line.
Cardamon goes ahead and kicks for touch. We heard the referee say that time was off, but only about 30 seconds are left. So all that Pittsburgh has to do is just maintain possession. Ball goes up, hits the front pod. It's not straight.
Options.
So there's an option.
Scrum. Out here. Ladies,
Columbus goes ahead and decides that they're going to take the scrum. This will probably be our final play of the Midwest Women's D1 Championship.
Now, time has expired.
But Lance, I've got to say that all of the players on this Pittsburgh side put on an absolute performance. The Columbus continued to try and stay in the thick of it.
Crouch.
It's hard to pick a player of the match, but if I had to put money on it, I would say it's that number 5 Burkett. She just humbled a lot of people today on this pitch.
Absolutely. That if she was given player of the match, there would be no argument for me. Definitely a game changer. Definitely proved that she provides something to the team. And as Columbus fights tooth and nail not to go softly into the night, around the corner, Pittsburgh has an opportunity to score. Holly Ingram walks in to give the Forge an extended lead and puts a perfect bow and cherry on top of a Division I Midwest championship.
Ingram puts the nail in the coffin for this win. Pittsburgh now at 28-5. Post, we talked about they just needed to maintain possession here. Post goes straight to the boot with not any more time to play. It's very risky to go ahead and give possession back to Pittsburgh. Ingram, she's so fast, so quick, and the easy recognition, she makes it look so seamless. You can see the celebrations go all around as after this kick, I think that we will be crowning Pittsburgh, the Forge, as our Midwest D1 champion.
Truly, truly the queens of the Midwest putting in effort today. Their season is a reflection of what they did today. And now we turn to Midwest champion. But are we looking at a potential national champion? They made it through the Midwest. They've proven they're the best in Middle America potentially. Now the entire country with a kick to come. And one more shot, the leg sleeve.
That stinky leg sleeve.
The stinky leg sleeve.
Ends up going to the boot. Ends up missing that conversion, but it's not needed because our score remains 28-5. Your Pittsburgh team, the sea of yellow and white, is already on the field. Lance, final thoughts for this matchup between these two teams?
Both teams play hard. Both teams showed us something that we deserve to see. Great rugby on a great day like today. But your Pittsburgh Forge were the better team, had the better moments, worked well together, and definitely deserve to be Midwest D1 champions. I look forward to what they do leading into the Nationals, and congratulations to both teams for making it here. But big shout out to Pittsburgh Forge for winning the D1 championship.
Not enough can be said about either of these two teams. Both teams absolutely demonstrated massive resiliency, but I cannot compliment the skill set of Pittsburgh enough. Pittsburgh was so patient, so methodical. They allowed momentum to really build. They made smart decisions whenever they were under pressure. They demonstrated some rugby intelligence that is so needed. Todd Fabeck, head coach, can definitely scream from the heavens how proud he is of this team because of beautiful plays like this. So they, of course, will be your D1 Midwest champions. But coming up, Lance, we've got the Cincinnati Wolfhounds versus the St. Louis Bombers. That's going to be for your D1 men's Midwest champions. And if it's anything like this matchup, we've been getting progressively better with the competition throughout the day. So you can expect to see some top tier level rugby.
I expect and hope to see fireworks. Great display from the ladies. D1 Men's Championship next. And what a curtain riser this was. Congratulations to Pittsburgh, and I look forward to their future. But Midwest Men's is next.
We'll go ahead and toss it down for the trophy ceremony. We're about ready to award it to the Pittsburgh Forge. And Pittsburgh celebrations all around. We're just going to continue to revel in this moment. But one thing that I think we can really talk about and harp on is the creativity that we saw time and time again. Lance, the adaptability, the pressure that both of these teams put on. They asked so many questions of each other throughout this match, but I just feel like Pittsburgh had a lot more answers to any questions that Columbus really had. We'll go ahead and throw it down to Rob so that he can celebrate with Pittsburgh for their valiant effort and their championship.
What's going on, everybody? I'm here with the Midwest champion, Pittsburgh Forge! And I'm going to bring over Captain Karina Sarver and her co-captain. Karina, why don't you introduce your co-captain here?
Hi, this is Mackenzie Cardamone.
So what were the keys to victory for the Forge today?
23 is one, 43 is one, sideline, everyone. Forge is one. Forge is one.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, this is one heck of a crowd you guys brought with you all the way from Pittsburgh. How much does that mean to have this crew on the sideline cheering you guys on?
It means the absolute world to us. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming out this way.
We got big love happening here. We're going to introduce somebody else over here. We've got the Swift Media Player of the Match, Brittany Royez. Brittany, you guys put up 28-5 scoreline. How important was it for your forwards to provide ball for your backs?
Well, we talk about it all the time. Our whole team is strong, but we have really, really strong set plays, our lineouts, our scrums. We work really hard on them. So being able to count on our forwards to hold that for us and then get it out to our backs, it's incredibly important to our game, and clearly it works.
Clearly it does. Who is your fullback? What an amazing run at the end to put you guys up by 14. You got to pick the, oh, sorry, 20. Oh, that was it. Oh. That ball was put back there. You had to scramble back, get back in position, sweep over, and then you just turn on the Jets, turn the corner, and put it down and put you guys up by 28-5 scoreline. Great effort. What were you seeing in that play as that ball was chipped ahead?
I saw the ball, and then as soon as that ball comes to me, I just see the hole, and I go, I don't know how.
Hey, look, let's be honest. That's what we like about wingers and fullbacks. They just pick the ball up and find a hole, find a gap, and make it happen. Lights out display of performance there in that play, and lights out performance by the whole Pittsburgh Forge. Congratulations, ladies.
What a job well done for the Pittsburgh Forge. They are your D1 Midwest champions. But we still have some more rugby to come. We are not done yet. We've got the Cincinnati Wolfhounds versus the St. Louis Bombers for the D1 Midwest Championship. I'm here with Lance Kavanaugh, and I'm Darian Lovelace. We'll be back in just a few to talk about this. See you soon.